Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Dom Lovely, your source for all celebrity news from my point of view. So I had a chance to look at Porsha's family vacation. Is that what they're calling it, you guys? Let me pull up my notes. This past episode was a lot, okay? Let's just say that this idea of Porsha wanting this blended family, it comes off as being a bit delusional, especially when you consider the cast of characters that are all involved. So on the latest episode of Porsha's family reunion, I'm basically just trying to figure out why Dennis and his mom is subjecting themselves to the foolishness and why they are not just okay being PJ's, dad and PJ's grandmother, aside from the blending of Porsha and her family and her new fiance. Like, I know it's about the money. I get that part of it. Like, Bravo's giving them an extra check, but it just seems so silly, you guys. But let's just go ahead and get into it, okay? So Dennis meets with Lauren to do yoga. And Dennis is basically like, okay, so I'm here, you're here. You've put all this time and energy into doing these activities and yoga and therapy. But where is Porsha and Simon? Again, they are nowhere to be found. And Lauren is like, yeah, I hear ya. You're not wrong. I agree. She should be definitely more involved with the activities for this family blending, the blending of the families that she wants so bad. She should be here too, okay? So then we see Dennis meeting with Lauren and Porsha's team. And, they're talking about holding Porsha more accountable. Dennis kind of just feels like, you know what, we're all here doing the work. Porsha is not being held accountable, regardless of if she's in love with this guy or if she's not in love with Simon. Nobody is pretty much holding her feet to the fire. And Lauren kind of has this perspective like, look, there's so many people coming for Porsha on social media, calling her a dummy, calling her a man stealer, and having all of these negative things to say about her. Lauren feels like, we need to give her some grace. And no, I'm not going to be bashing her every moment because people on social media are already doing that. So then they get to talking about Lauren's assistant, Dom. A character for sure. Dom strikes me as the type of person that's a latcher on. So whomever the celebrity was going to be, he was going to latch onto that person to get clout. So him running back and telling Porsha whatever he saw Dennis do, that's just a part of him trying to be in the fold, be loyal, I guess, and keep his damn job. Dom is an assistant that will come and go. He really has no true relevance to Porsha's life. He's basically just a lapdog, somebody to bring her information on what Dennis is doing. Now, why does Porsha care so much about what Dennis is doing? That's what we're all trying to figure out here. This whole family reunion vacation situation, it definitely screams of Porsha trying to really feel out her feelings in terms of whether she wants to, or trying to really regulate within herself if there's still some feelings there for Dennis. And it is just so painfully obvious. I'm sorry. It just, this whole thing just kind of seems like a joke, but nevertheless, moving on. Dennis said, hey, you know what? I actually had breakfast with old boy. I had breakfast with Simon, and you guys want to know what he told me? He said, whenever the relationship is done with a bitch, I have a whole moving company that's ready to pack her ass up and get her out immediately, okay? So, Dennis is well aware of Simon and his antics, I'm sure, because he's known Simon. He knows his situations around Atlanta, so he kind of knows how it goes. And he said it's a bit disheartening to know, hey, if this doesn't work out with you and Porsha, you're gonna kick my baby mama and my child out of your home and have a moving company ready to get them right on out of there. So, yeah, I could definitely see that for sure. It didn't take any time with him and Fallon. That whole situation seemed like it happened pretty quickly. And Fallon seemed to me like she had been kicked out of his home a time or two before. So old girl was ready and had probably all of her things in place. Okay. So Lauren meets with Porsha to do some meditating. And Porsha feels like Dennis needs to state his intentions. And Lauren is like, well, I feel like he's already stated his intentions and why he's here. He said he wants to work on the family relationship and build a bond with, you know, I guess Porsha and Simon. But Porsha kind of feels like, you know, Dennis has ulterior motives maybe, and she doesn't really know why he's there. But didn't she invite him? Just very strange. And I guess I'm not really understanding why there's so much turmoil between Porsha and Mama Gina. We'll just call her Gina. I mean, at the end of the day, your respect just goes far enough to say, hey, how are you? How's PJ? Did everything go well when she stayed at your house? I don't understand why it has to be so contentious, I guess. But anyway, yeah, you know, Porsha says she feels like, Lauren says to Porsha that she feels like she's not being open, she's not being transparent, and basically she's not being real. Now, we could have, you know, dived a lot deeper into that, because I think what Lauren wants to really hear Porsha say, basically tell the truth. Like, do you still have feelings for, what's the child named? Dennis? Because child is written all over your face. You're annoyed that he's bringing other chicks on the vacation. Seems like everything he does, you're annoyed about. So Lauren feels that Portia's a bit closed off. She needs to open up a little bit more, whatever. Porsha says that she has let go of the idea that Gina is going to be a part of her family, and that basically Gina is only going to be a part of PJ's family. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand what the big deal about that is. Yeah, that's her grandmother. That's PJ's grandmother. That's the only idea that you should have had in your head. But Porsha did disclose that when she was a little girl and when her father separated from her mother, she wanted to see that blended family. So she wanted to see her mother and Lauren's mother communicate effectively like adults. She wanted to see the mending of a family. She wanted to see the blending of a family so she could feel good about going to her dad's on the weekends and coming back to her mom's house. She wanted a full, complete circle, but it doesn't always happen like that. And it does not always have to be like that in order for the relationship to be healthy. You know, that's just my opinion. But Porsha has it in her mind that, you know, whenever they vacation as a family, that Dennis needs to be there and Gina needs to be there, and Dennis and Simon should be the best of buddies. And that could be true, except it's obvious that you still have some unresolved issues when it comes to Dennis, okay? So moving on, well, let me just say this because this is a good point. Porsha says to Lauren that all this meditating that you want me to do, I don't feel like it's going to work. I don't feel like me, you know, meditating and all of this like that. You're right. It's not going to work because you still have feelings for Dennis and you need to get to the root of those issues and heal yourself before you move on 3 months later to be in a relationship with a man that you're now you're saying you're getting married to. That sounds very crazy. So all this meditating y'all doing is not going to work. Just be real with yourself, and that's what works the most, okay? Porsha's talking about, you know, her mom and dad split, which we talked about that. I mean, it makes sense why she has these feelings, because that's something that she wanted to see as a child. But like I said, it doesn't always happen that way. So Dennis is on the bus with Porsha's team, and low key, like, they all feel it, they all know it. They're talking about how this whole thing is just like steamrolling ahead and how everything is moving so quickly. They confided Dennis, they're like, look, I mean, 3 months ago we were talking about Porsha and Dennis. Now we're talking about Porsha and Simon. Like low key, the staff and personal assistant, cousins, whomever they are, they all know this is some tomfoolery. And of course, Dennis gets a good giggle out of all of this because he knows that there's some unresolved issues with himself and Porsha, and this is just par for the course. And not hating on her situation, but these things never really end the way people think they are going to end. So they're having that conversation. They then talk about the chick that Dennis brought on the trip. I think it was pretty petty of Dennis to bring somebody. I mean, not to say he's not within his rights because Porsha's moved on, but it's kind of like tit for tat. Okay, Dennis, you brought this woman. I'm sure she's absolutely gorgeous and she got body for days, ass for days, all of that. She's walking around the resort in her bikini. She's in the pool. Y'all are foo-la-la-ing around, and maybe Porsha will see her, maybe she won't. But if Porsha does, Porsha will feel a way about it. And Dennis knows that, okay? So yeah, that's why she's there. She's there as a reminder to Porsha that I can get bitches, okay? But I think it's just so unnecessary. And I don't know. I don't think he should have done it, honestly. I mean, like, what's the point? You ain't gonna be with this girl when y'all get back to Atlanta. She just here for the moment to annoy Porsha, for sure. So Dennis and Porsha's team goes out for drinking. And Porsha, Simon, Lauren, and one of them other cousins, they go ATVing. So this is when I guess they are drinking and all the truth is coming out. Dennis definitely doesn't, he doesn't see it for Porsha's assistant, Dom. He basically blames him for going back to tell Porsha that he had hired a chick that he slept with. I agree with Dennis that if I run 30 different restaurants, I'm not in charge of the hiring. We'll leave that up to talent acquisition. They hire the staff. So, if I have all of these different restaurants, it could be a chance that somebody who I have been involved with is now working there. However, again, Dom, latching onto a celebrity, wanting to be known, seen, and loyal, goes back and tells Porsha, and this is what is annoying Dennis to the 10th power. And so, Dom ain't about that life. He ain't trying to fight Dennis. He knows what he is. You are run, tell lad. Whatever you see, you go back and report back to Porsha. But interestingly enough, they're having these conversations and drinking, and Londi, Porsha's cousin, is like, hey, I used to work for you, and all of a sudden I was working for Porsha. Like, why did you let me go? Why did you fire me? And Dennis tells her, because Porsha told me to. That's why. That's exactly what happened. So I guess she never knew that her cousin had asked Dennis to let her go. And I guess that's something she had always wondered about. So now Porsha told Dennis to go ahead and let that ass go, okay? So later that night, the family gets together for a family dinner. Once again, a hot mess. There's tension already at the table. Dom and Dennis are getting into it. Dom is like, if you hadn't been sleeping with somebody, then I wouldn't have had to snitch on you. And, it's just this whole back and forth. And it's like, as a viewer, I'm like, y'all doing all of this in front of Porsha's new man? And what does he think about it? Doesn't he think it's very strange that if I've moved on and I've proposed to this new woman, that your ex and your assistant, who is extremely out of pocket, is still discussing him cheating on you? And Porsha's like, no, you need to let Dom finish because Dom got something to say. So Porsha wants to hear it out again in front of her new man. You still want these conversations of how Dennis cheated on you and how he hired the chick who he slept with. Like, why is that relevant? Like, Porsha, I just wish your head was right here so I can just knock on your head. Like, are you okay? This is totally unacceptable to be having this conversation in front of Simon. Meanwhile, Simon is looking like, are y'all serious? Like, this is happening? Like, we're in a relationship and you are arguing with your ex about what he did to you in the past? Yes, she is, because there's still feelings there, Simon. Simon knows it, and he even goes on to say in his confessional, Simon says Porsha needs to work on her resentment issues with Dennis. Yeah, she does. She has a lot that she needs to work on as it relates to Dennis. So, you know, I agree with Gina. Like, why is this being brought up? You got a whole man here. Why is this being brought up, Porsha? Like, this is not a good look. Somebody tell this child, stop immediately. Yeah, you know, Dom is trying to be Mr. Tough Guy, and apparently, Porsha gets mad because Dennis tells Storm to shut the F up because she said something slick to his mother, and he got kind of pissed off, like, you know, shut the F up. And Porsha, now this is the reason that she gets turned up with Dennis. This is the reason. She felt that he was being very disrespectful to Storm, and, you know, she's not going to sit around while excuse me, while Dennis tells her cousin to shut the F up. Girl, you've been looking for any reason to go toe-to-toe with Dennis because you still have some anger in you, some resentment in you, and you want to get it out. But you don't know that this looks very, very bad to do this in front of your new man. So she's using that reason to, you know, basically, like, she tried to attack Dennis. Like, oh, she's so angry with him. She is. And if she would just, you know, be honest with him and give herself some time to heal, then, you know, maybe it could go in a different direction. I don't know, but I think she's moving way too fast, and she still loves Dennis. So yes, you guys, drop down in the comments and let me know what you think. Do you think Dennis was wrong for the young lady being hired at one of his restaurants? Should he have known that somebody that he slept with is now working for him? And the biggest question, do you think Porsha is still in love with Dennis? Why did she actually try to fight him? Very strange, you guys. Don't forget to like my video, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, ring that notification bell, and we will chat again soon. Bye.